You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Yes, you are indeed, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the Bring the Thunder podcast. I'm here with Sapphire and a very special guest today, a good friend of mine, AJ. You want to introduce yourself to the people real quick?
Yes, sir, for sure. Thank you for having me. AJ Russ here in Houston area. I work for ESPN Houston, actually. Cover some Rocket stuff as well, too. And also have my own YouTube channel at AJ Russ, like I was listed right there. So make sure to subscribe. Not just posting Rocket stuff, but all types of NBA, NFL, pop culture stuff, too, as well.
Hell yeah. All right. So, fans, I'm very sorry. AJ, like he said, Houston area, works ESPN Houston Rockets fan, but got to give it to them today. Houston takes down OKC 112-106. Rough game. Honestly, I mean, it looked good at the start. OKC went up 15, and then I got a few words to say about Mark Dagnall's performance today. But before then, we'll get into a quick box score rundown. Chet, 17 points, 14 rebounds. Pretty solid game. 10 in the first half. Casey Wallace, big game. 23, 4 and 4, 4 steals. Best player on the court today. Aaron Wiggins, 17. Hartenstein, 4, 8, and 11. Isaiah Joe, 21 off the bench. For the Rockets, Jabari Smith, 22 and 10. Tari Eason, 26 and 8 on 5 made threes. Kevin Durant, 20 points. Sheppard makes 16 of his own. And Sengun with a triple-double, 17, 12, and 11. So clearly, there was a bit of an issue on the defensive side with stopping their three-point shooting, especially Tari Eason. It seemed like the game plan today was to let them shoot and shoot early and often, especially Jabari Smith and Eason. My question is to AJ. I'll swing it to you first. Unbiasedly. Why was the plan to let Tari Eason get up 13 open three-pointers? He's like the best three-point shooter on the team.
Well, he's continued to improve this year as well, too. I think that's been something that teams have still, been willing to live with because, you want to take out Sengun and Katie. That's a major game plan. And even when Amin is playing, you want to make Amin beat you because he's not the greatest shooter. But Tari, like you said, he's been able to continue to increase being a three-point threat this year, and he made the Thunder play today. Made the Thunder play today. But, the past couple of games, like I was saying before, the past 2 games, they haven't been shooting well at all. So this was just a great collective effort that the Rockets needed because they have been playing bad recently, really collectively on offense. But they would put this together without Amin. That's a solid step in the right direction. But I still think they have a lot of holes, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good win for Houston, but I don't want to sound like condescending or anything, but 112-106 over a team who doesn't have
2 best players.
2 of their best players, and then AJ Mitchell as well, who's in the run for 6th man of the year. Sapphire, your thoughts on the defensive performance and the game plan to stop the Houston Rockets today?
Yeah, game plan wise, I'm not going to fault Mark Dagnall for stopping one of the top 5 greatest shooters in Kevin Durant and just scorers in general. So, it pretty much worked. He got up to 20 just because he got some late free throws there. But overall, I feel like, we got the ball out of his hands as much as we needed to and got the timely turnovers on him. This has been a game plan for the Thunder, and sometimes we win by the sword or we die by the sword and lose by it. And in this case, we lost. And we've seen this, even in the playoffs where we have such a heavy game plan for the other teams opposing best players like Jokic, and we'll have random players go off against us. And not saying Tari Eason is random by any means, but he got a lot of 3 points up, and Mark knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing from a game plan perspective. And we can shout about this as much as we want, but I don't think organizationally they're going to change anything just because we're on a podcast, screaming to our fans that, hey, we should maybe switch up and guard everyone kind of more equally. Clearly, that's won us the championship in the past here, and it's not something that they're going to move off of. And when we're completely healthy, it generally works out more in our favor. But tonight, obviously, it didn't. We had all 5 of their pretty much starters really carry them in this win. And I'm not going to speak too much I know the title is questionable coaching, and I see some comments about it. And I know, Joe, you're going to lay into Mark, but in this case, we're just not a healthy team. We're missing our top 3 players right now. And yes, it was a winnable game, but I was talking to AJ about this before we started this up. The Rockets just wanted this more. They kind of came off an embarrassing loss. And I think their coach really laid into them in the post-game presser. And I kind of been away from the NBA, busy with work and stuff. But once I heard that, I was like, yeah, these guys aren't losing this game. Like, you can't lose when your coach is putting that much pressure on you to win this. And we saw that with kind of the minute distribution for them and how hard the starters played. I mean, KD played 40 minutes. Jabari played 43. Sengun with 37. Tari played 34. I mean, they really exhausted their top 5 guys to beat a team that doesn't have the 3 best players. So there's no fault in this. I feel like it was just solid game plan by us. Great late game execution, which they haven't had as of late. That's something I've covered about the Rockets, where I think maybe the past 15 games we could have said the Rockets are not executing in the fourth quarter, and a lot of that does not have to go against Kevin Durant because he's the one getting doubled. It's just his teammates can't hit shots, and I think them missing Amen Thompson tonight actually helped the game plan because they had Reed Sheppard, who could light it up against us and spaces the floor a little bit better for them. And I think if Amen low-key played, they would have gotten more shots up and we could have had a closer game in our favor. So I guess kudos to him being sick for this one. Maybe not for your prop wars pick there, Joe, but that's kind of my initial thoughts.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from, where you don't want to blame coaching today, but here's my thing. And listen, no one's right or wrong here, but what I saw today, I was I haven't got this mad over a game in a long time, sitting on my couch by myself, screaming like an idiot. Isaiah Hartenstein was killing it. 11 assists today. We're up by 15. Mark Daigneault doesn't play him the last 6 minutes of the second quarter before halftime. They cut the lead down to 5 or whatever it was. Fourth quarter, we're cutting the lead. We have McCain, Isaiah Joe, Case and all in. Lee's getting cut. He takes Hartenstein out. He doesn't see the floor the rest of the game. Tari Eason has 2 big offensive rebounds down the stretch. Game's over. Miserable rotations today. I hate that. Isaiah Hartenstein played 25 minutes. And you can't say that he's on a minute restriction coming back from injury because he hasn't been. He hasn't been in the games that he's played. And he sat out against the Spurs. So where is that mindset? That's a weak mindset. That's kind of avoiding, injury, even though we have been injured all year, avoiding anything possible. And it's a weak mindset. You could have swept Houston today at home. You had a really good first half. You had a really good fourth quarter push to cut the lead. And then you just take out Hartenstein, who was dominating the whole game. 4 points, fine, but he had 8 boards and 11 assists in 25 minutes.
Yeah, I think his minutes
running the show on defense, and he just takes him out for 6 minutes to end the first half and 6 minutes to end the game, and that's where you lost the game. That's exactly where they lost the game. They were up by 15 before they took him out.
Yeah.
But
man, I agree with you though on the minute distribution for him. It could have been planned a little bit better for the end of the game. We usually see that with the better players, especially starting players. Most coaches plan for that, and clearly he's, on a minutes restriction if he's only going to stick at 25 for this game. We would have liked him more for the, second half of that fourth quarter, but that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, I guess, when you don't pay attention to that part. And maybe they just didn't think this was too much of a winnable game to where he needed to play those extra 6 minutes. So I can understand.
Well, yeah. Won 15 in the first half, and he said, we won. Let's take out Hartenstein.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. I think he played him a little too early there, and that kept us in the game. But that's just how it goes for this one. I do want to talk about one stretch of the game that you were mentioning with the rotations. One thing I didn't like was us going undersized against when they have Tari Eason out there with I'm forgetting the name here, Jabari. We had Isaiah Joe guarding Jabari Smith. That blows my mind into like a different freaking universe, because there is no reason we shouldn't have a big out there or a bigger player. Like, that blows my mind that he went with that choice, especially down the stretch in the third quarter. That's when we started dropping the lead. It kind of upset me from that perspective, Joe, but there are things we can, nitpick at, but at the end of the day, like I mentioned from the start, we're missing guys. Yes, it was winnable, but man, it is a tough loss. I know all the Thunder fans are feeling the sting, and also we're feeling the pressure. There's a 3-game difference between us and the Spurs. The Rockets are starting to catch up as well. They've probably broken the tiebreaker against the Nuggets. The Nuggets are going to start catching up themselves. So we're kind of we went from, the hunters to the hunted at this point. And I actually like that for us. When SGA and the crew come back, they'll have something to play for a little bit harder. Also, it'll heat up the MVP race. And I know the NBA wants this all for the ratings for the first seed to be up for grabs. And I actually love that for the NBA going into the playoffs. It gets way more relevancy, way more views. And from just a entertainment value perspective, like it's more entertaining than us just being runaway favorites. So what do you think, AJ?
AJ, I'm coming back to you really quick. Two guys wanted to point out today, they've been struggling as of late, and I want to hear from a Rockets, media member himself perspective. Jabari Smith with a big game, 22 and 10. I've seen a lot of fans over in Houston they get on him a little bit. Well,
For sure.
A lot of it actually.
Yeah.
And then a guy in Sengun who's had some problems with officiating the other day.
Yes.
Playing well, he's coming off a 7-point game, and he comes in, has a miserable first half, and then has a 17-point triple-double. Two guys that really stepped up today. Your thoughts on their performance?
It's the response that they needed, quite frankly, because if they would have lost this game in like third game in a row, it would have been like another glaring red sign for sure. But I mean, the same problem is going to continue to ensue with this team going into the postseason, or however long they go, because Fred VanVleet, I mean, that injury, I point back to that one. It's so untimely how that happened. And then, like, I mean, there's still some people available from a buyout standpoint. Like, I mean, but Lonzo, I mean, I don't know. Cam Thomas, I mean, he's not a true point guard, but he'll get buckets. But they need someone to set up the offense to be like not only a playmaker and facilitator, but also be a scoring threat at times as well too. Because you can just tell like teams every single time Sheppard brings the ball up the court, they're pressuring him because he's not a true point guard. So that just continues to be a problem. But Jabari Smith, like you said, he's playing better. Like he needs to continue to have games, maybe not 22 and 10 all the time, but like 18 and 10, like something around that area. Because I mean, like. Yeah, I remember he was drafted the same draft as Chet, third overall. So, I mean, you're supposed to be that guy, and he got that second contract last year. You talked about how some of the Houston fans are on him. I mean, some people didn't think that he deserved that contract as well either, too. So he has to continue to improve that. So I like KD being there for his development for sure, too. And then Sengun, like, he has to play defense, and he played better defense for sure today, but it needs to be consistent overall. And I guess that's why maybe he didn't make the All-Star game this year, because some of his peers don't think that maybe – he deserved it this year. Like sometimes like he's whining, and it's so true though. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously like good areas for this team, but I just think like if you had to ask me like right now, how far do I think the Rockets can go in the playoffs this year? Max the second round. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they lose in the first round just due to the injuries alone, because they just really it just looks bad right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree. We do have a super chat, so let's get to this. From Matt here. Matt, appreciate the dono. He said, from what little I see, people are going to use this to criticize Chet performance. His biggest issue is he can't generate his own offense consistently yet. Still taking him over Sengun. No hate, but he's just an okay player. All right. Let me go to AJ first here. AJ, first, I mean, your thoughts on Chet's performance today, and then the Sengun-Chet battle? I guess he just said he's going to take him over Sengun right now.
I mean, he's a Thunder fan too, though, so I mean, I understand. But yeah, I mean, Chet, that's the overall next step for him, just to being more consistent overall on both sides, because you see the potential with him in terms of really since he's been drafted, how lethal of a player that he can be, like from a scoring perspective. I mean, he's been a first-time All-Star this year for a reason. You could have made the argument last year if he didn't get injured that he would have been one last year as well. But it's just really like with him on the court still, even without SGA and without JW, you expect him to, be a guy that can get 30 and 10, 30 and 15 for sure. But it's just overall by putting it together. So I think he's going to continue to do that. I mean, he's still young. I mean, you don't want to hear that excuse, of course, too, because you're a championship winning team. You want to try to repeat and build a dynasty. So I think that he just needs to overall be consistent, be more aggressive at times too as well, for sure. And I mean, the Alperen Sengun the Alperen Sengun and Chet thing. I mean, like I said, I understand why he says that. I can understand because Sengun, I mean, like I said, the defensive perspective, I mean, he still needs to grow a lot on that area, and he's not the most athletic. But I mean, it's just really, I wouldn't if I was a Thunder fan, I wouldn't like switch these players. I wouldn't be fine with that for sure. I think it's perfectly fine how Chet is, and then Sengun, I mean, he's continuing to grow as well too. Like these guys are the same age, so
yeah, I believe they fit their teams perfectly on both sides.
Right,
there.
exactly.
Xavier, your thoughts?
Yeah, appreciate you, Matt, for always getting in here with the super chats and $20. But from what you're mentioning, people are going to use this to criticize Chet, and as they rightfully should. I mean, we're a championship team. He's an all-star this season. I mean, he should be the one generating this win. And as far as generating his own offense, he's actually grown a lot over the past couple seasons here. I mean, he hasn't even played that much basketball for where he's at right now. Both of these guys are 23 years old. They're both pretty much 20-10 guys at such an early young age. They're going to be longtime all-stars. They're going to be, long time in this league. And it's going to be a rivalry between these two. And I disagree with just saying he's an okay player, because it's so hard to determine where either of these guys are going to go towards in terms of trajectory, because Sengun could take an instant leap on his defensive end and turn into an even better center than he is, and maybe improve his athleticism over the next couple seasons. And, they know what their deficiencies are. Chet Holmgren clearly has been working on his bag in terms of his dribbling and ball handling, and his main way of generating that offense. I feel like the reason he's gotten that consistency is he's always taking the smaller players on the other side. You'll see every time there's a pick and roll with a guard, he's taking the other guard off the dribble, and that's where he's getting his consistent offense. Maybe not so much against other centers. That's where he kind of provides that floor spacing. But I still feel like if that's the way he's going to get his buckets and, get to 18 points or whatever, I feel like that's as, best of an expectation we can have from Chet, who's also playing alongside two other all-stars. So he doesn't generally get too much of his own offense. So I feel like he's in a good spot. There's still some room to grow, but he's, in my opinion, a top 2 center defensively. So there's so much room there. There's so much room there for both of these guys. And on the other side with Sengun, he's one of the top 5 offensive centers. And from what I saw tonight, I know he hates the baby Jokic, but that turnaround fadeaway shot, it gives me nightmares. That's literally Jokic shooting it. And he did it every single time. I honestly didn't think it was going to go. And he was just skying it in. And I was like, all right, it didn't matter who was in front of him, honestly. Yeah. It could have been freaking Hakeem Olajuwon at that point. He was making those. So
yeah, Matt. For me, Matt, I think Chet played extremely well today. 17 and 14. I mean, to get 14 boards against a guy like Sengun, they have Jabari Smith, who's big. Obviously, KD's big. And Eason was all over the boards today. I mean, he held his own for sure in the paint. Matt, I got to go back to it. I don't think that Mark lets him, runs any offense through this guy. A lot of it is just pick and roll. Hartenstein with a backdoor cut. Chet, like Sapir said, attacking smaller defenders when he gets the switch. He did not run it. He ran a little in the first half, and Chet was very good. He had, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Second half, he didn't run a lick through Chet Holmgren. No opportunity. The dude shot 10 shots, made 5 of them, 1 out of 3 from 3. Good defense, even though he didn't get on a block. They shot a lot of threes today, Houston, but I mean, the opportunity, I just don't think it was there. And for your main guys like SGAs, like Jordans, Kobe's, LeBron's, people like that, they're gonna go get the ball regardless of what the plan is. Chet's not there yet. He's a center who's in his third year, 4th year. He's not gonna go out and get the ball and be like, all right, I'm gonna dribble from the 3-point line, tween, step back 3, and then I'm gonna get the ball. He's not a 1, right? So plays have to be drawn up for Chet, and there's just not enough of that, which kind of pissed me off again today. But Matt, appreciate the dono. Let's get to some of these more comments here. Bengals, I see you in there. I was just finishing up that. AJ, again, do you want to introduce yourself? I think this is one of our members here, Bengals. I don't think he saw you when we first started.
Oh yeah, my name's AJ Russ. Like I said, I work for ESPN Houston's radio station. Also cover stuff digitally for them with the Rockets and obviously other sports like football and basketball as well too. I have my own YouTube channel at AJ Russ. Just crossed 2,000 subscribers last month, so just trying to grow that continually. Post about NBA, NFL, all types of videos like that. So check that out for sure. Also on Instagram at Swaggy Russ too.
Hell yeah. Dallas Cowboy fan too. Yikes. I had to throw that in there too. Leone's got it right there. And guys, I want to all talk about this too. I really liked what I saw to Jared McCain while he was on the floor today. Looked a little hesitant to begin. Obviously, it's his first game with a team that just won the finals, and it's loud, and they're playing Houston. It's a big game. while he was on the floor, they were a plus 12. He was on the floor when they made that run in the second quarter. He was on the floor when they made that run in the fourth quarter, and then they took him out for Lou Dort, who couldn't make a shot today. You got to know what's going on in the game, Mark, and you got to just keep it rolling. But, Xavier, I'll start with you this time. I know you're a big Duke guy. I thought McCain played well in the 14 minutes that he got today.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was amazing. And when we had that third quarter stretch, the first thing that came to my mind was, why isn't he out here? We're starting to lack and lose on offense, and we need some floor spacing and just general offensive, setup play. And that's something McCain can bring on the ball, off the ball. And so I was kind of shocked he didn't re-enter the game till the later part of the fourth or whatever, because of the minutes that he did play, he looked like he belonged. And that's something Mark Dagnall mentioned in the postgame. He's only been here for less than 48 hours, and he pretty much played exactly like a Thunder basketball player. And that's kind of what I expected from him. And I was thinking back to the shout out where you made that when we had the post-game trade and you mentioned Jared McCain. I mentioned we have a Jared McCain at home with AJ, so I didn't even think that he'd be joining our roster. Now that he's here, we're going to have two AJs out there alongside an SGA, alongside a J-Dub, alongside a Chet Holmgren. And that could be our best five-man lineup rotation offensively and defensively. And I think it's going to get pretty scary once he kind of gets acclimated, starts getting more minutes. Because if he starts getting 20-plus minutes, I mean, we haven't seen this level of shooting threat since the Kevin Durant, maybe Russell Westbrook days. And I haven't seen two solid offensive three-point shooters. Like, I'm just dreaming of a scenario where there's SGA, we have Kaysen out there, we have McCain out there, we have Isaiah Joe out there, Chet Holmgren out there. That is going to blow the minds of other defensive coordinators on, the NBA. I feel like that's going to be one of the best offensive rated teams, and I'm super excited for that to happen. I just think he's a perfect fit. And when he left the 76ers fans probably want to close their ears for this one. Tyrese Maxey was pretty much getting emotional talking about how good he is, not just on the court, but off the court, how likable he is. Even after this game, we saw him dapping up a lot of the guys on the Rockets. It's just so clear how good of a good personality he is. And just from that form factor, like, he fits us really perfectly. And so, I mean, we got really lucky, and it shows a lot that we haven't made a major move. It feels like in 9+ seasons. And this is the player that we go all in on in terms of, a trade deadline move. And the trade deadline moves that we generally make are like Kendrick Perkins, no offense to him, but we haven't made this major of a move in a long time. So, Hayward. And I'm super excited. I'm super excited and super pumped up that we took a flyer on a young guy that was Rookie of the Year candidate. And he was actually ahead of Stephon Castle in that race. And we know how, Stephon Castle is playing right now. So there's only positive notes for a guy like this to, build around this team. And as long as he's getting his consistent 20 out there with Aaron Wiggins and the rest of the crew, I'm super pumped up. And I think he's going to be the perfect fit also from the side of, if Isaiah's off in terms of his three-point shooting, and that's something that I know you always harp on, Joe, we can always just throw Jared McCain as another option out there. If Isaiah Joe goes 1 for 4 on a stretch, because we usually put him out there for real quick offense, boom, we can put Jared McCain. And I feel like between us having Lou Dort and a secondary Lou Dort in Kaysen Wallace, and then the same thing with Isaiah Joe and Jared McCain, we're starting to get the same levels of players in the starting and bench units. And I don't know how Presti is doing this. So I'm super excited about that.
Mark Espinoza, one of our greatest members of the channel, low blow. If you can't tell, Mark, I'm having a rough day. My microphone is broken. The stand is broken. My webcam broke as I was getting on. Thunder lost, and you don't even want to know what I had for prop wars today. You'll see it when it comes out on Sunday. But good God, it's not good. AJ, your thoughts on McCain's fit with OKC, and really quickly before you go, one thing that you said. We could use Isaiah Joe, and then if he's not on, we can use McCain, vice versa. Well, it looked like having McCain kind of sparked Isaiah Joe a little bit. He had 21 points off the bench today. But AJ, your thoughts on McCain? McCain the player, and then the fit with OKC.
That's kind of what I was talking about with Severe before we started the stream. Like I liked what I saw in the short minutes that he was in. And Jared McCain, like y'all just lamented, basically, like he can be a guy. Like obviously he just got to the Thunder, but like even next year, for an example, but say for in the future, AJ Mitchell's not there, he could be a guy that could be a potential 6-man-a-year candidate because we saw before he got injured last year how much of a scoring threat and how versatile he was with Philadelphia. So I think that's just been a great pickup, especially like for the capital that y'all gave up. I mean, yeah, it was a first round pick, but y'all have so many more assets for sure too. And I mean, like I think it's a perfect deal for sure, especially right now in this time without SGA. I'm not totally sure about the timetable that he's going to be out, but like that's just another luxury of a piece to have, and y'all have one of the deepest, if not the deepest, benches in the league too. So it's just really a luxury standpoint, I would think.
Sapper, you had a question?
Yeah, I did have a question. Kind of transitioning back to the Rockets here. Now that we got a true hoop head out here, it gets me super excited. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on Reed Sheppard. I feel like he's kind of been the odd man out and someone that's been targeted by Rockets fans. And for me, I don't understand it because you guys are lacking point guard play, lacking shot creation and making. And I feel like he's that fit for you guys. I guess, what am I missing from a disconnect perspective? And maybe what are Rockets fans missing from what Reed Sheppard can bring for the rest of the season and even going into the playoffs? I mean, you guys don't have many options, and I feel like he is a starting level player in the NBA. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that too. I think it's like half of the fan base. Like half of them are like they would want to trade him, and then half are like just like lets things go and let him progress for sure. It's really, I think last year, especially with the 2024 draft, we know it wasn't the strongest. So him being picked third overall, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you drafted this guy high, he's barely playing," and stuff like that. And then seeing him this year, he's had some good performances as well too. Maybe some not so stellar performances from a defensive perspective, but you just got to continue to let him grow. I believe he's only 21 still. Like I'm definitely with him continuing to grow and develop. And like say for example, if Fred didn't get hurt, I feel like that would have been great for Reed Sheppard, especially from an off-ball standpoint. But I mean, if anything, that injury is a blessing in disguise too, because it's allowing him to grow and really have to learn on the fly in terms of being a better ball handler.
Six assists tonight for you guys.
Exactly.
I thought that was huge.
That's what I'm saying. So he's continuing to grow as a playmaker too. So like that's the biggest thing. Like you want to grow and develop these guys. So you don't want to be so quick to trade them. Like even how we just talking about Jared McCain, the Sixers doing that still. I know they drafted VJ Edgecombe, but I wouldn't have done that if I was them. So you just got to continue to wait on guys. Sometimes, I mean, everyone develops differently in the NBA. NBA, same thing with the NFL as well too. So you just got to sometimes be patient. Everyone wants things to be, microwaved, and you think you're gonna get an instant success and win a championship. But I think Reed is going to continue to develop and get better.
Sheppard and McCain are very similar to me.
Yeah.
In size, body, shooting ability, all the same kind of attributes there.
Right.
Dude, they're so young. they're so young. You just gotta let them grow. I mean, why even draft a guy if you're gonna give up on him 2 years into a year and a half into his career, man? Like it makes no sense to me. All right, so
AKA 76ers GM. Giving up on a guy, that quickly. And also I want to mention, I thought they were doing the Spider-Man meme when they were guarding each other. Like it was just so similar in how they were guarding and playing against each other. I was like, man, these guys are so similar, and they're both going to have really long NBA careers. And I do hope Reed ends up staying with you guys, because you guys are one of the older teams in the league. And obviously that's on purpose. You want to be a little bit older going into, a playoff series. And I know that's something Ime wanted in terms of from a toughness perspective. So it's a good mix of young and old. And I just don't think, obviously, moving off of Reed Sheppard makes any sense. Yeah. I think, as you mentioned, point guard play was something that I thought you guys would target a little bit more heavily. I'm not sure what your situation is in terms of buyout market, but I know there are, buyout market guys available that could probably help you guys out. Maybe if Chris Paul's willing to come back, or
Mike Conley.
Even Mike Conley's definitely signing with the Wolves.
Minnesota.
Yeah, he's going back to the he's already he's going back there. But I'm sure there's other buyout candidates that'll arise. So hopefully you guys can open up a roster spot and get a true point guard in there, because I think that would help Amin Thompson as well, because he's more of an off-ball talent. He's good at just creating for himself.
All right, we got to get to this because Satvir, as you know, well, maybe you don't know, AJ Capers and I, with a few other friends, ran a football podcast earlier in the season. It had come to a pause for now, but we're hoping to continue it. Our chat's going crazy right now, asking us if we're watching the Super Bowl tomorrow. I mean, I know I am. AJ, I'm sure you are. I mean, who doesn't watch the Super Bowl? But
Right.
I mean, they're asking us who we're rooting for, who's going to win. So really quickly, in like 10 seconds each, AJ, who are you rooting for and who's going to win?
Well, I can't root for anyone besides my own team, but I think the Seahawks are going to win 30-17. So that's my prediction. Yeah.
Very briefly, I'm a Panthers fan, and
Mm.
I got the Seahawks winning 42 to
Big numbers.
33.
Oh,
Big numbers.
oh, wow.
I love it. I hate the Patriots, but they're going to win another Super Bowl because why not? I just don't believe in Sam Darnold to win.
It's fair.
I just can't picture it. I'm rooting for Seattle,
It's
but I
fair.
just can't see it. All right, Sapir, we're about just over 30 minutes in. Are you ready for your segment here?
I am ready, man. I'm ready. I
Mark.
found something. I found a gem for us.
All right, really quick. AJ, Mark is such a good guy, and he's funny.
Oh, man.
Fuck
Anyways.
up, Mark. But
Good.
that's
It's not
good.
weird.
It's good. And Bengals agrees with AJ there. All right. Sapir, let's get into your quarter here. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts.
Welcome to Satvir's Quarter.
All right, guys. Stat of the night. You guys know I always bring something to the table here, but I got to definitely give credits to my guy, 3Cone out here, giving us an amazing duo stat here. And this is something we were just talking about, but I think the stats back it up, and I knew they would. I wasn't worried about that at all. But the pairing of Isaiah Joe, Jared McCain, and the 12-minute stretch there, it looks like 16 points, 52% net rating, offensive rating at 140%, and a solid 88% defensive rating, obviously clearly from the floor spacing that they generate. It creates a lot of pressure, a lot of tired legs to defend that. So, but I thought from just looking at this 12-minute, 13-minute stretch right here, if we can expand this to both of them playing 24 minutes and then add in SGA into the mix of this, I'm telling you guys, the league is not ready. You guys can definitely drop your thoughts in the comment section. We'll react to that. But what are your initial thoughts to seeing this stat kind of back up my initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, for me, quickly, I just wish I saw more of it. I know it's McCain's first game here. They were playing so well. Like, they went on two major runs with that lineup, with them two both in the lineup, with Case and it just got stopped, not because of the Rockets' defense, because our own coach took them out twice on two runs. It pains me today. I'll be thinking about it all night. AJ, your thoughts?
No, for sure. Like I was saying, like I believe that's going to be really that bench, specifically with Jared McCain being there in the fray with Isaiah Joe, him playing with Kason Wallace, other players of that nature as well too. Even playing in the mix with the starters, it's going to be a huge boost. Obviously, y'all are already one of the best offensive teams in the league, but like from a bench standpoint, y'all going to have a lot of scoring instantly off of that. Like I was talking about earlier on the last time y'all played against the Rockets, y'all went crazy in the fourth quarter. I think y'all can have a lot of quarters like that, potentially making a lot of threes with Jared on the floor. I mean, him initiating the offense as well too. So I think really it's a sign of things to come that's going to overall put y'all on a great run going to the playoffs potentially and being a number one seed and trying to get on a run to winning back-to-back championships.
If the coach allows it, right, Sapir?
I'm
on his ass today. The same way me and you were in the playoffs last year. It's the same BS that most of our losses this year are on the damn coach. I'm not going to get too crazy because it's not playoff time yet, and we lost to the Rockets with no SGA, no J-Dub, no AJ, but it gets to a point here, Sapir. He blew a couple games in the playoffs last year. We were on him. Trust me, we were on his ass. He's blown games in the regular season.
I think it's just
I'm not going to go too far, but I think that he might have just got carried to a chip last year.
I just think he's still young. He's got a long way to go. He's won Coach of the Year. He's clearly a smart coach. He's one of the highest percentage when it comes to challenges and everything. He's great at scheming and defensive planning. I think just the one place where we get on him is the rotations. And in this game, it's tough. Hartenstein's kind of on a minutes restriction. It's Jared McCain's first game. I think once we get a nice 10-game sample size and start getting back into some good health and we see the rotations he was playing, while we were hot, I think we should be fine. I do know the late game situations with him sometimes taking out SGA in crucial moments, Hartenstein in crucial moments. Especially, I just don't understand why we go so small when we have Chet Holmgren Chet and Hartenstein out there. Like it's
Mark said it too.
mind-boggling. Yeah, Jay Will as well
having
was
a good game.
Yeah, Jay Will's having a really solid game for us, and Hartenstein was having a career high 11 assists, and I thought he was one of the best playmakers on the floor out there tonight, especially with us missing as much playmaking. So definitely tough, but hopefully we can just at least get one of these games out of the couple that we have coming up. I know the Rockets' next game here is going to be a tough one against the Clippers. Obviously, as Thunder fans, we're cheering on for the Rockets to get this win. But what are your thoughts going into this Clippers game? And, I know you guys are heading into All-Star break as well. And you guys have another matchup with possibly the Hornets coming up as well. So you guys have back-to-back against the Clippers and then the Hornets coming up here shortly.
I think they need to beat them for sure. I know they made those moves, obviously, trading away Visa Zubac. Now they have Benedict Mathurin and, of course, Darius Garland too with Kawhi. And I know the Clippers have been hot lately, but obviously they traded some of those pieces with James Harden as well too. I'd like to see the Rockets finish off 2-0 to go into the All-Star break. That would encourage some confidence. I don't want to split against them. I know it's a back-to-back, but so there's no what's it called? There's no excuses for that because with the Clippers, like, let's be for real. Like, we know Kawhi is talented. We know he's one of the best scorers that we've seen. I mean, best two-way players that we've seen, but he's usually not healthy when it matters most. And that's a team that you should beat, quite frankly, even without Fred VanVleet and Steven Adams. So I need to see them put on a performance similar like tonight, obviously, with Amin Thompson back too.
That Steven Adams injury, I don't want to say it prematurely, and I don't want to be an ass, but I think that ruined the whole rest of the season. Like, he was massive.
For sure.
Literally and metaphorically speaking, like, he was so good for Houston. Kind of like a resurgence in his career. He found a new home in Houston, and injury is a fucking killer. But, all right, Savvy, we're just under 40 minutes. I got nothing left from today. Obviously, we have a bunch of stuff coming out. Prop boards will be out tomorrow, and then we have the games coming up before the All-Star break. But Savvy, do you have anything else? Have we missed anything today?
No, man. I mean, we're in a pretty solid spot, I would say, 40-13. Still a 4-game lead out west. Hopefully we can pick up some wins here in the upcoming games. Chet Holmgren, pretty big, 17 and 14 rebounds. Isaiah Joe with a pretty good resurgent game. He was highest in plus minus. Hopefully we start seeing a little bit more Hartenstein minutes. Maybe 6 additional minutes can lead to a couple of extra wins for us. And the one guy we didn't really touch on, who was probably the most excellent offensive player, is Cason Wallace. I mean, what he's doing for us, I mean, he got a lot of his points in the flow of the game, and I feel like that was huge for us. He wasn't forcing anything. He was putting the cuts at the right time. He bailed us out on multiple occasions. And him and his connection with his cutting ability and Hartenstein's passing ability, I just need to see more and more of that develop. And, man, it's so hard. I think when we start having discussions post All-Star game and once we start getting healthy, it's going to be so hard to pick out who are we going to start, what lineups we're going to play. And I think this exactly, and this is where it's going to get tougher. And I think when Gabe's back, he could mention this. We wanted to trade more rotation players so we didn't have to have discussions of who needs to start and who needs to play. And I feel like this makes Mark's job even tougher going down into the stretches of games where he's got to really pick and choose. And the one guy I'm going to say early on here, and Thunder fans and even myself hate saying this, but the odd man out has been Lu Dort. 27 minutes, 2 points, 1 for 6 from the field goal, 0 for 4. I mean, didn't make any free throws. I know how great he is on defense. Trust me, I know. I mention all his stats all the time. I know his advanced analytics. He just hasn't had that it factor for us. And I think it's time for him to move to the bench post All-Star game. I think it's just I said I wanted to wait for a longer sample size with him healthy, and we've pretty much received that. And I think it's time. I think it's time to move not on from him as a player. I think we can still extend him to a solid deal, but at least for this season, if we really want to contend, I don't think he can stick into the starting lineup. I think I've seen enough, and we have too many emerging talents between, AJ, Cason. I think we have more options now, and with the way Cason's playing defense, I'm always going to advocate for him. And Aaron Wiggins for how well he's playing offense and how well he's played in the starting lineup as well. I think he should be the biggest shout. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I just think Mark has his hands full, and I mean, it's easier said than done, and obviously, I'm not going to pretend like I would get rid of him because who would you go get? There's not many people out there, but
True.
at some point, you just got to be like, we're all watching the same game. You see who's playing well, which lineups are playing well. You don't got to just balance the minutes. Just keep the guys in who are playing well.
Stick with it.
If you got a rotation that's not playing well, get rid of it. Lou, it was a mistake to put him back in the game today. It was a mistake to have him play more minutes than a lot of the guys off the bench today, and that was it. All he has to do is just, like AJ just said, stick with it. Find out what's working throughout the game. It's going to change game by game. No one's going to be sore about it. It's for the better of the team. Just figure it out.
Yeah. AJ, any thoughts about Lou Dort's struggles this season?
Yeah, for sure. I would probably tend to agree with moving him off the bench. I mean, really, he would be. I mean, if he's guarding bench players as well too, I mean, that would be a better focus. And honestly, that would be able to put him in rhythm, I believe, offensively to an extent. Because I mean, if you notice, like when he's open at 3-point line, teams are still living with him shooting the ball. So I mean, at times he actually gets hot too, and despite how dysfunctional and unorthodox his shot looks. But yeah, you just want to see him continue to put it together more. Because I mean, like Joey said, like who are you going to trade him for real? Like. I mean, you could get a pick out of him probably, but like you're not like if you're trying to look for another defender, like you're not getting a better defender than him, honestly. So
yeah, Mark, you're not doing favors right about now. But Lou, we still love you, man. We still know.
I still believe in him. I think from a playoff perspective, he'll still do good when it comes to the playoffs. He always steps up, but I think he'd be better, like AJ's mentioning, with more of a 20-minute sample size against bench guys. He can definitely get to the rack, hit some shots. And I think that'll limit how many volumes of 3-point shots. And I think that just helps his percentage overall because I think he's just taking too high of a volume because he is starting and he's going to obviously get opportunities and he believes in himself as an NBA player. So he's not going to not take the open threes. He's not like other players that shies away from the moment. And I love that part about him, but I think that'd be more useful when he's getting more quality looks on a little less aggressive defenses because, some of the starters that end up guarding him are going to be pretty solid defenders. And coming off the bench, he's not going to play that same level of high pressure defense. And they're going to probably ignore him as much as they're ignoring him right now. And maybe if not more, and that'll create more quality look for him. So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that's going to do it for today's post-game show. Again, Rockets 112, OKC 106, another brutal one. Hopefully we got AJ back in the next game. Thought it was going to be today, but maybe not. AJ, yourself here on the panel. One last time, if you want to shout out your pages, go ahead before we sign off.
Yeah, for sure. Subscribe to my YouTube at AJ Russ. Love being on. Also on Instagram at Swaggy Russ as well too. Actually, last year I collabed with Savir. I just realized that now on like a little Thunder preview I did, and then started following him. So that's pretty cool as well too. So I do a lot of stuff like that too. So like as the playoffs come forward, I'm going to be doing like previews of the top contenders and stuff like that as well too. So stay tuned for a lot of that for sure.
Oh yeah, go sub to him on all socials, everybody. Have a nice night. Again, thank you for tuning in. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Go get a premium membership over on the YouTube channel. We'll see you guys next time. Be ready for Prop Wars tomorrow. It's electric. Xavier and I suck at it. And Thunder up, baby. Let's go.